Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated. Put on the headphones, no?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that where it's at?
It's better. It's more intimate. You can hear the subtleties.
Hear our voices.
Hello. Welcome to this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where do you live?
I live in the burbs of Philly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And are you doing a gig? Did you come in to do a gig or just the podcast?
I came to see you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
I drive all the time, so it's like I blast this turnpike. I've been blasting this turnpike since 88, since 1988, just up and down.
How long does it take you to get here?
Well,
An hour and a half?
Depends on where you're doing it. But it takes, I call it 2 hours because you still gotta park.
Yeah.
You gotta do, you gotta get, like, you can get up to Holland Tunnel in no time.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you can sit there for another hour.
Yeah.
So you can't really calculate it. You can't really tell what you're going to get until you got it. I remember missing I missed a city winery gig that way too. I'm not from the city. People make assumptions. You'd be like, oh, you know where it is. And I'm like, no, I don't. So Tell me the full address. Don't just be like, yeah, you know where it is.
Yeah.
I don't. So, and I'm driving too, so they'll tell me directions for like biking or walking, you know what I mean? Like, well, that's a one-way street in a car. I'm sure you do it every day, but I'm like, I'm looping around and I'm like, I'm on. And I'm looping around trying to find the city winery. First time I played there, and it's like, man.
You missed the gig.
No. I mean, I missed their
sound check
on time for the gig.
Yeah.
Audience and me had a good time, but they're like, venue's like, you can't just, you walked in and on stage and played. Yeah. They're like, no, Mr. Free Love, that's stuff that we're a business.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, okay, yeah, that's probably true.
They're not for that.
No, I learned that, so we got it together now. We're back.
You're
good.
back.
We're golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you play there a lot? City Winery?
No, I mean, that loft upstairs, they put
Yeah.
that in. Well, it's gone now, but, that was a cool little spot.
Yeah.
Because it's a matter of numbers and capacity
Yeah.
with me. I'm not doing their numbers to be in the basement, in the bottom room.
Yeah.
The ground level. So, but I love that they accommodated, a guy like me, and they put a little smaller room so you could do a situation for your audience.
And you're on the road like what, 300 days a year or something like this?
No.
So that's what your bio said, though.
Did it?
Well, it said something along those lines.
Don't take a month off.
Or you don't take any time off. Is that? But that could have been an old bio I read.
Yeah, they're all old bios.
Yeah.
And also too, like the stuff that will exist. That stuff that remains in existence.
Old bios?
Yeah, the stuff that clubs will pull stuff from the internet.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I see these things where I'm like, Jeffrey Gaines, the voice of a generation. I'm like, what generation? Like, who wrote that? And like, what generation is that? And who are these people?
Yeah.
But that was written a long time ago. And it's like, and I'm not going to erase it because to me it's inconsequential. Really, I mean, I avoid reading. You know what I mean? I avoid reading stuff,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
About yourself or just in general?
Just in general. You know what I mean?
You're avoiding the media?
No, I mean, like say with music. I love records, I love music, but I thought of them as like my music friends, my muso friends, like, know who engineered.
Mm-hmm.
And they know who played the triangle.
Right.
And they revere these names that they've read there. I just rip it open like bubble gum and put the thing on and put the needle on the record. And I'm like, I don't care. They wrote there's a lot of words in here, and I just get that out. Like, it's like pulling the plastic off of it.
Mosquito Daniels, triangle expert.
Yeah, I'll just get rid of all those things and start playing the music. So, when it comes down to what I like or what I don't like, I never really take any reviewers. I don't need a reviewer to tell me the bands I like, or I won't read about them. I don't want to know about him. I loved David Bowie growing up, but I did not want to know about his personal life because I loved like the artifice and the imaginary life that he chose to create.
Right.
And that's it. So when somebody shows me some candid picture of Bowie walking down, 7th Avenue, I don't want to see him in street clothes. You know what I mean? I don't want to see like the guy relaxing. I don't want to know that part of him because that's not the part that he's decided to. Here's the part I'm selling, and here's the part I'm not. And I'm like, there's separation. He might not be cool.
Right.
Eating soup. I don't care about him. I don't want to know about that.
I heard he smelled good.
Yeah.
That's what Adam Green told me, that he was famous for smelling really good.
But he did. Mixed with the tinge of Marlboro Red.
That's true.
Nothing better. Nothing better.
He didn't kick those smokes, did he? You smoke?
Nothing better. No, I don't smoke. No, I don't smoke. I like smoke culture.
Yeah.
I like smoke. I like all the aspects of smoke. The curl. The habit, like, I mean, just the ritual of it. Like when you see a guy that's really into smoking and he'll roll his own.
Mm-hmm.
Just the time that he's taken with that. A little pouch, a special blend.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. And there's like, you know, and he does it first, like, he's got to spit a few out. And you're like, that's like beautiful because he's slowing down the cadence.
Yeah.
He's slowing down the conversation. He's slowing down stuff. That's his sort of
meditation.
Yeah. You know, and he takes a little bit with it. And I'm like, that's kind of tough. I kind of think that's cool. But I never smoked.
That's the appeal of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they get you when you're 13.
And
right?
the nicotine is like, you know, it's an alluring drug. I struggle with nicotine myself.
It seems a little subtle.
Well, it is. It's
you know,
subtle,
it's like
but
subtle.
It's like a caffeine thing.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's not overwhelming, but it's nice, you know, other than all the havoc it wreaks. And did you ever hear of Napoleon Hill? He wrote this book called Think and Grow Rich in the 30s and in the 40s. He also wrote one called Outwitting the Devil. And in that book, he asked the devil, he does an interview with the devil, and he asked the devil, what's the worst drug for humans, alcohol or cigarettes? And the devil says cigarettes, back then when he wrote it, doctors would prescribe people cigarettes for health, like it wasn't even known.
Right.
But the devil told him it was cigarettes because cigarettes cause drift, and then through drift, he can work his demonic magic in their lives. Drift is what we have to like guard ourselves against, according to the devil or Napoleon Hill, whoever you think said that. I think the devil said it because it's true. It's true in my life.
So you're guarding yourself from the devil.
I mean, my life is a constant battle to go beyond, the devil or my devils, or outwit the demons, because I'm aware of the fact that like through my own activity, I can elevate my situation, or by situation I don't even mean financial or this, that. I just mean my spiritual situation,
right.
my personal situation. Like, so every day is like a test of that to me. That's how I view life, or that's how I've lived life for a little while now.
Nice.
And sometimes I'm good and sometimes I fuck up.
Right.
I'm not perfect.
Who is, Bob?
I
live
know.
like a dog.
You do?
Yeah.
How do you live?
I live like, that's me like, I don't like, if you ask your dog, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't contemplate stuff like that. Throw the stick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Put the food in the bowl. We're going for a ride. Like, what's going on? Like, there's so much probably going on, but it's like I leave that. I'm a born entity,
Yeah.
Birth, school, work, death, and I didn't request.
You didn't sign
the
up
honor.
for it. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean it's just springs forth from somebody's passion.
Mm-hmm.
They do a thing, you're born.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, should I spend every day of this finite existence figuring out the finite, like what this means, or get on with it, like just do the thing till you're done, till it ends. So I just look at it like being a dog or something, like who's just like, oh, I live, I'm happy, things are fun,
Yeah.
things tickle, I want to go for a ride, I want to go for an adventure.
That's a Zen approach, and when things are fun and things tickle and you're going for rides and adventures, that's all good. But what happens when that's not the case? Is that never not the case? Like things are fun?
I think it's never not the case. If I think what you have to do is you make your peace with your decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll probably vote yourself out of complexities.
How do you mean by that?
Like there's a lot of things that are riches in life,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll just say, "Oh well, I forfeit some of those. I forfeit some of those because they now are acting."
Like demons?
No, not demons. Say relationships outside of your own ideology. Like, I believe what I believe, like that whole dog thing I was just going through. But then if I try to have a relationship, that person will have another philosophy and ideology, and we'll have to merge those. The harm will come in us trying to find a percentage of my thought, a percentage of their thoughts, a meeting in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could overwhelm me. I could be like, oh my God, I'm so in love with you, I'll do everything you do. It takes me down a road where I don't know where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lost now. I'm in things that are taking the joy or whatever away.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just say, look, I'm just going to do it the way I do it. And then you'll avoid. So it is always the good time because you keep it clean, you keep it simple. But of course, in keeping it that fundamental, that basic, a lot of the stuff you'll lose.
Like what will you lose?
I'm sure like there's a lot of bands, a lot of people I know grew up in bands and stuff, and we're all of an age where they're not only enjoying their music career, but they're enjoying like the graduation of their son,
Mm-hmm.
or the grandfatherness of their daughter that's just put them in the, like there's all these other there's all these, like when you go, what do you want in life? There's a lot of people who pick like 20 things.
Yeah.
And they'll just set a course to try to get all 20 things.
Yeah.
And that gets hard,
Uh-huh.
That gets hard when you're like, I want my music, I want to play music, but I want my music to provide for me the docking of my boat.
Right.
Or the overlook of my vista from my, you know what I mean? Like,
or just raising a family.
yeah, like
in
you
the
want
suburbs.
like, you want a lot of things. So
Right.
now you're asking each individual thing to provide you with. And then that family, you ask, can I go away 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
And can you guys cope with an away me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to go hump to get this to provide. Like, that gets hard. That probably does.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just one thing is you can pretty much we'll probably get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, you probably get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, when I enter it, when I'm
And
involved,
is that what you've done?
that's what I'm doing. That's
Right.
what I have done. That's what I've done. And
you
now,
don't have any kids?
no. But now I'm looking back. So it's like, so I go, yeah, that is what I've done.
Right.
It's not like, it's not even, it's like,
Was it a choice or just the way life unraveled?
Kate Moss never called back.
Right. Like what? Why not?
Hey, Johnny Depp's a hard guy to let go of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, some of the things that might have made me, open up and change my idea about it, didn't. They didn't happen. But it goes back to childhood or whatever. I'm the youngest of 3 kids. We're all 4 years apart, and so 4 years apart is enough time to develop your own, within your own. Like, it's not as if we could party together.
Mm-hmm.
Because that 4 year older than me person thought they were too old to hang out with a baby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the baby learns to amuse himself.
Yeah. And did your siblings have kids? Did they go?
No, they're gay. They're gay and not having kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were both gay. Sister and brother gay, like known right away before it was cool, before the Ellen Show, before It's Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So they went through all the not awesome periods of life and
Of
coping
gayness,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah. So yeah, they didn't have any kids. But the youngest finds his own joy, and delivers to himself the things he needs and doesn't, and just begins to develop a self-sufficient nature internally. Just somebody asked me about music the other day, and when I got into it, when it had an effect on me, when I recognized it. And to be honest, I can't really remember it, but I could imagine it going this way. In a nursery, you're born, and before you get your name, some nurse takes you away from your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And that nurse, you got you in the nursery there, and you're swaddled. And your eyes are, you're going, like existence, earth, this thing, wow, colors, things coming in. And then that person, that random stranger, it begins to extend love to you. And the way that they know how to extend love to the languageless. I'm going to rub your forehead. And I'm going to start to, I'm going to sing, Mama's going to buy you. You get a song, and you go, music, this first soother, the very first and initial soother, magic coming out of your mouth hole is and the kid's like, what the F is that? What the F is the magic coming out of your mouth? And then all you're doing, in my mind, is like shaping and making the music from your mouth hole, like immediately. So I'm not into music because, like, when we were in college, we decided we could get girls and get a band. No, I mean, I'm into music because it's like the first language. Boom. And then, like, you know, you start to look at the world and the thing you're living in, and you even the conspiracy aspect of it, the manipulating you to buy products, your Pop-Tarts, your cereals, everything's got a jingle. I wouldn't know, and none of my class would know the alphabet if we didn't sing it. I mean, the ABCs are a song, and the only way I know it, ask a kid what's in the LMNOP. What's the LMNOP? He don't know. It's LMNOP. Like, stop. Yeah, you know the song, but you don't know. Write that down. They're like, I don't even know because it runs together. You know what I mean? But they know the song first. LMNOP. What are you saying? I don't know yet, but I know how to sing it. And I'm like, funny. Music is the whole source of it all, right? So you get good at it in your single digits, you know. So you're singing at 7 and 8 and 9, and so are the Jackson 5. So is Michael Jackson. He's, you know, they're singing. Donny Osmond. You know,
when did you start?
7, 8, 9, singing at the back of the station wagon, man, singing at Elton John.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when did you start, like, with the guitar and the way you're when did the journey of what you're doing now start as now? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, not the little kid vibe.
I couldn't have been doing it without it, though.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
The way you describe that too is beautiful.
I've never heard. That's the childbirth thing with the nurse.
No, that was great.
Is vivid. Yes.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
I can't claim I remember it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, I could imagine it.
But it happened to me. I know it did, or it wouldn't be this way. But you know, again, my mother.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Harrisburg, PA, capital city, Pennsylvania. That's probably an old steel town kind of
Midwestern.
Central PA, yeah. It's kind of it's beautiful.
I'm from Ohio.
Yeah.
So you a Steelers fan?
I don't follow the sport.
Right on.
I don't follow sports where I don't follow things where the objective is to succeed by beating your opponent.
Right.
I'm not a fan of that. When you win, someone loses. And that's like, you know, you get sportsmanship, you go over, you shake their hands and stuff, but it's all, you're all sticking it to them. You know what I mean? You can't help it. You know what I mean? They're feeling a type of way at the end of the day, and you're feeling a type of way. And if you go over there and your coach told you not to gloat, you got a different stance, you know? We won, you know? So I was like not a fan of that nature, that whole point. So I don't follow the sport, but your question.
I box.
That's awesome. It's good survival stuff.
Yeah, that's a good.
But your question kind of leads to, do I have allegiances based on where I'm from?
Yeah.
You know. Oh, so then you like Steelers, but I have no allegiances to region or place because all the stuff I'm doing is, my interests transcend the place. I'm not influenced by my environment.
Yeah.
So it's often a hard.
When I think of things like that, I think of like, I don't take that shit seriously.
Yeah.
Like, but to me, it's like just like there's levels. Like on the ultimate level, I'm totally with you. Like like I'm a world citizen.
Yeah.
You know, and on the ultimate level, I agree even about competition. But like on levels below that I also kind of enjoy, like, okay, it's like, you know, it's just fun. It's just like, it's a goof to me. Like I don't like, but because if you said I'm a Steelers fan, I'd be like, I'm a Browns fan, you guys suck, you know, but I don't really think that. I don't really care.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
It is one of those things. It is one of those things, man.
Yeah.
And I chuckle at it too with an I don't care about ultimately all the things because
well, because that's survive. You got to, or this world will drive you insane.
Yeah, I'm just not mine. It's not really mine to attempt to control, you know. So I mean, and there's a story, you know, the record of history shows like, you know, we are all here just for the blip, you know what I mean? And like, there's all this stuff that happens over and over again, and it's so severe and so surprising to you when it's just you and your own sort of microcosmic view of you, you know, like I broke a nail, right? You know what I mean? Like somebody could trip, lose it, pull over and cry, you know what I mean? But like to them, and it's like you can't discount that it's as serious as hell to them. But you just go, it's a shame, sort of, you're not seeing all of us, all of it. You know, these things have been happening throughout time. Back to football.
Well, back to PA and starting music.
Oh, because I was gonna say I do like I like the Patriots because Tom Brady's.
Oh.
I like watching Giselle happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
On the year, she's happy.
Yeah, man. When like he does a good thing. I mean, I like to see people getting. I mean, that's a cool thing. That's a cool thing to get. You know what I mean? Like, you know, as a guy, I get to watch a guy. Seemingly, his dreams is like just locking in, just like flat out locking in. He's putting the work in. You know, he's got the God-given natural talent and the gifts, but he's putting the work in to sustain and create the outcome. He's prepared for the eventuality. He's ready when, you know, opportunity knocks. But you know, close that down, grab that girl from the magazine. It's like, wow, who's that? Who's that? And like, I can go make that a reality in my life. And I'm like, man, that's tight. And then, you know, that's beautiful. That's a cool thing. So I watch his team. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, just whatever, like, yeah, look, he does, yeah. And then they go up to the stands and show the owner's box, and she's jumping. And I'm like, that's totally great, making somebody jump, you know? Somebody invested in your interest to the point that they're super joyful about your wins, about your happy days, you know?
Yeah.
That's tight, you know what I mean? So
that's hard to find.
Well, it's hard, let's put it this way. I think it's hard to sustain. I think it's a hard ask, right? It's a hard ask.
To ask somebody to be happy for you?
No, to ask somebody to ride your ride. Like, but
you could ride each other's ride.
Yeah.
And then take turns celebrating each other. But that's even hard to find.
But that's a very hard thing to do while you're pursuing your other thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Unless the other person has another thing that is also taking up an equal space in their life, and then you can coalesce in the middle. But that's like an ideal, I guess.
It's an ideal. Or you could be like, it could just be like, you know, I mean, we could go down that thing, but I know we're on tape or whatever, so I don't want this to live forever. But
exactly, you gotta be careful.
Like
Jeffrey, be careful,
I ain't gonna try to tell it for real, but like,
you'll be the voice of a generation years from now.
But
yeah,
like,
but you might be a voice of a generation yet.
But you know, I'm thinking like, you know, if your world provides enough for the other party. I mean, I've been on tour before where, you know, I mean, I've been in different, you know, gig relationships where somebody's like, that's cool because I want to take pictures of the world. Like, I'm into photography.
Oh, so somebody will go on the road.
Yeah,
with
you know what I mean?
like a girlfriend.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, not like a constant, but if that happens, where like, oh, neat, because my interest is taking pictures of random things, and your life changes nightly.
Right.
Your geography changes nightly.
So you met a photographer.
I did not meet. I'm saying, like, this would be. I don't have any of these things that I'm talking about.
You don't?
I don't possess any of these things.
None of them.
I'm talking about the things that work. I'm talking about the things that will work. Like, you know, like, so Elton John, you know, the Blue Dream Baby, the seamstress for the band. Like, she needs people who need bell-bottomy, patchy, you know, black crowsy clothes that like you can't get at the store. So she's like, I love to do that, and you guys need to look ragged. So they come together. You know what I mean?
Now you're just describing Almost Famous.
Yeah, or like so I don't know. Like from an onlooker, you know, Willie's women like take pictures. Willie like his picture tuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Linda McCartney.
Yeah,
was
it's
a
like
photographer.
right. Yeah.
Do you have a girlfriend or any relationship?
I got multiple. I got the love of my audience. Which camera?
Yeah,
right there.
I got the love of my audience and my listenership, and they will, you know, they have provided so many of the joys of my life. Yo, I got that relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, the relationships that I'm lucky enough to experience have strangely enough been off spins of that.
Yeah.
Of that people pool.
Right.
You know, they'd be like, yo, I need to come follow your shows. And I'll go, hey man, I'm seeing you a lot.
Right.
Who are you? Like, I'm seeing you a bunch. You trying to get seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we'll get together based on that. But you know, you know, they find that I think maybe I'm experiencing people whose pursuit is to try to be like, I'm gonna become your new focus. And I'm like, you ain't never gonna get me from music.
Right.
You ain't. I mean, you're just like, so that's gonna suck for you when you find out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the gig.
Yeah.
You know, so that thing where it's like, you know, when somebody is on the West Coast following their thing and they're having a celebration, they're having a moment in their life, and the other partner is in Italy having a thing. They're receiving their achievement award. And say hers is happening on the West Coast in LA. They're gonna drink. They're gonna toast with someone.
Not me, because I don't drink.
Well, they're gonna celebrate with a person, and it won't be you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to trust. You're saying it's hard to trust.
It's not hard to trust. It's hard to expect. And I don't look at it like matters of trust, because I don't look at it as the victimized.
Yeah.
I think people who fear or have issues with trust are the people who expect that they're gonna get duped or done. That's like that's the cautious and issues of trust person.
Yeah, but it can happen if you invest your heart in someone. Like if you really invest in someone and really open yourself up. If you stay at arm's reach, then you can ride like that. Like, you can't really hurt me because I'm not really invested. Then it's easy to say that.
That's true.
But if you really go in, if you really like, then
here's the thing.
Then
though.
Somebody can really fuck
Here's
with
the thing, though, bro. Here's the best part about that. The initial, you walked up to the scene. You walked up to the scene like any good detective, and you went with the MO. You went with the first. Here's the read, but. I'm not saying that a guy's going in. I'm just saying, I'm not going in with the holding some back.
Right.
You can go all in.
Right.
And take the burn.
Yeah.
Because, the only the only joy of that is to go all in. If you go all in, that's cool. And nobody's going to take nothing from you, because it's the giving that you're doing it for, not the giving it back. Like I give it so you give it back. No, I mean, you just give it because it's good for yourself to be all up in love.
Yeah.
Love is a gift you give yourself.
Yeah.
If you can go all the way up in it, you're gonna feel amazing every day.
Yeah.
So if somebody does all the things that you're fearing, cheats, lies, betrays, that's cool, because they got to live their birth to death. And that's cool. They had to do what they had to do. It feels a way. You get a knock, you get a hit, but like, you don't go, man, what they did to me. You go, man, they allowed me to love up on them until they came to everything is like, the journey, the valley, the top, the valley, every time like you come to a new top, you look and survey, and you'll make a decision. These decisions are being made all the time. You make a decision, and you go, I can't be in all of them. I was in a good portion of them. I was in a good portion of decisions that they made. And then they, something better for the moment, or for that left turn, like going down that turn, they were equipped to grab onto the next limb, and that takes them to another place that they wanted to go without consulting me. But that's okay too, because, I would have been a limit
to that.
If they had consulted me on that, I probably, for my own interest, would have tried to talk them out of going there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you do that if you can foresee that it's going to lead them to some harm, but you don't do that out of your own necessity to keep them. If you can ultimately see it's going to lead them to a higher level of joy, you go, well, you're gonna have to do what you do. Thanks for the call, but I mean, I'm not gonna try to influence you this way or that way.
Do you want to have kids or anything like that? Or
God, no.
No,
I don't have the knack.
No,
I don't have that thing.
No part of you wants to like have a family or anything like that.
No,
you're so clear on that.
I'm completely clear on that.
You're good.
I'm so clear on that, because
you don't like hear about other people talk about their kids, this, that, the other, and go like, man, am I missing out on something? No.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the deal. You could say, I'm just not that wide. I'm just not open. I'm missing out on that. You could probably say that all the time. If you and me went to a diner, I'm not gonna go, oh man, I could have got that. What comes to your plate? You know what I mean?
You should write a book on philosophy, man.
Like, you picked what you picked. You picked what you picked, and I picked what I picked. And I'm like, I don't want to sample that. If I wanted that, I'd get it. Like, so it arriving and
I'm not much of a let's swap samples. I'm more like, let me have my own meal.
Exactly. So
but I mean, I will.
So
I will swap samples. But
so I see other people's. I see the joy that their kids are bringing them and stuff. I'm like, I know better. I know who I knew who I was so long. I'm such an old kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, I knew who I was like for so long.
Do you ever get lonely? Anything like that?
I don't get lonely. Isn't that weird?
Well,
I don't get lonely
after
because
talking to you for however long we've been talking to you, I don't feel it's that weird. It doesn't surprise me that you say that.
Yeah, I don't get lonely. Here's the thing, Joseph. I don't get lonely because I'm accompanying myself.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
in a way.
Good.
Like, I literally, like, I'm talking to myself. In my life. I'm talking to you now.
Right.
But the internal talk never stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes, when you get around people and they're talking some I don't know you yet. And they're all like in the weird preliminary speak. I'm almost like, let me go back to me. Let me go back to just, don't talk. Don't say random dumb things. Because you're uncomfortable.
But you never get lonely, like at night, like a little bored, whatever. Social media is not fun for now, like anything like that. You never get bored, never.
I don't get bored.
Damn.
I don't get bored, and I don't get lonely.
Wow.
Because I think lonely is a matter of. I think lonely is that lonely is like in another person. Can I bloom? Like lonely. I know. Well, I'm just
saying. That's a good line for a song, dude.
Like when
lonely is in another person. Can I bloom?
Yeah. Well. Like when people call me. When people call me.
I'm gonna write that song.
When people who are lonely call me because they know I'm up all night. Their MO of their loneliness is that there's no one.
Lonely in another person. Can I bloom?
I don't know what we said, but you got it on tape. Get it right. I don't know what it was. But I mean, the people that call when they're lonely are like, they're like missing. They're like
copyright.
I'm right.
Quickly.
You can totally
have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really writing that down.
Well, like
lonely in another person. Can I bloom?
Yeah, I think I said only though. It's not lonely in another person.
I know. Okay.
You like it?
Only in only. That's a rhyme scheme.
Yeah,
then I'm gonna go with only in the next line.
Yeah, because I think they're thinking like the worth of their existence will only matter if someone else is there telling them.
Lonely in another person can I bloom. Only is another day. That's
right.
gone. That's gone too soon.
Dude, that's all yours.
You don't like that?
Yeah. No.
Oh my god.
But that's cool.
I'm easy to please.
Yeah, I don't have to like it. You're the only one who has to like it. That's the best part about it. But yeah. So I think it's like if I was waiting for someone to sort of affirm my stuff, I'd be lonely because I wasn't getting it from somebody else. But I don't really need to get it from anybody else. At night, I do have the things that I enjoy doing. I want to play my gigs enough to keep my cable on. I like to watch movies and get all my reading from someone acting out a movie. I've read by way of it being played by Anthony Hopkins, and you just go, my God, that's the most beautiful poetic thing happening. But I wouldn't read it. It'd be my voice, and I'd grow bored with reading without inflection.
How about
you know what I mean? It's just like words, the next word, and I'm like, I don't put the color to it.
Right.
So I mean, it's not as if I'm.
You
off.
like movies and theater.
Yeah, I'm not off books, but I won't put the character into them. I won't give the dance to the type on the page, and I think that's really half the beauty of it. If you just read some, I don't know, it's not my area to say, but if I was reading some Shakespeare and I just read it flat, it's like, what the fuck? Someone would have to get in there, embody the words, and deliver them with the emotion that's written on the page. I always had trouble like with unless I'm singing, I don't want to hear it.
I got you.
I mean, we're doing this thing, but I'm generally very quiet.
Books on tape.
Yeah, that would be cool. But again, these are things where I spend so many times behind the wheel and driving.
You're
Come
all right.
on.
Come on through.
So you don't drink?
I don't drink. Do you drink?
I drink.
Yeah?
I drink. I celebrate. I drink. I have.
Do you drink every night?
If they're putting it out,
Yeah.
I'll have what's put out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't avoid any of the riches, any of the experiences, really. I mean, any of these pleasures
Right.
that are provided. I'll have them. I don't align or assign myself with anything, though. Meaning,
Have you ever had any fallout from drinking or anything like that? Do you have any issue with it? Because I have issues with it. Like I drink, I tend to like keep drinking. I don't.
no.
I have a hard like stop. I have a hard time stopping once I start. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. No, I don't ever want to. Like, see, I think I drink like in a celebratory way. So I drink when things are fun. I drink for things to be up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I know a lot of people like this poet faction who drink to go dark. They drink to go. They do their things to go into the depths of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's dude. Why would I do like? I don't want to. I don't want to do anything where I'm not running it. So I didn't do drugs because I wouldn't relinquish.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They happen. The opportunity to find out about those things happen in your adolescence. If you're a kid like me and you grow up and you know you're into rock and roll and stuff, these things happen pretty early. The opportunities and the availabilities appear by way of rock and roll and the gang, the clique you're hanging with. You know, so you experiment and you find out very quickly. You know, hey, that's not gonna work out for me. You know, some guy named Harry Bennett, bless your heart, his mother got 8th graders a keg of beer to celebrate them graduating and then going into 9th grade. So we were at Harry Bennett's basement and we're all like, you know, sitting around drinking from a keg of beer. That's like, wow, that's really cool. And then you find out, like, you know, you just go, I don't know how, we're 8th graders. We don't know how far, we don't know how we don't know when this ends for you. Because it's like, who had a beer before? I didn't have a beer before. You have a beer? I was just drinking them, listening to records in the basement. And then when you get sick in some biker dude's custom van, because you're just like, whoa, something hit me. I'm staggering. I'm losing it. And you throw up all over some guy's custom van because it got cold to you, because you're an 8th grader and you're drunk and you share at some grown-ups party. And you throw up in the back of that guy's custom van his pride and joy, and he kicks your ass for a month every time he spots you. You say, I'm done. I won't do that. I'm not drinking anymore. So in 8th grade, you go, I don't drink, to the point where I'm going to become a burden to myself or to anyone else. If I need somebody to walk me.
Yeah, but some people don't have self-control with drinking, Jeffrey. That's like, that's if people have that. So you're gifted if you can control it, or like you just don't have an issue with it. But a lot of people can't do it. They can't make a decision and just do it.
Oh, you got it.
It's beyond. It's beyond. It's like the first step of AA. Like I'm powerless over alcohol. Like, you know, like come to believe or something. I forget what it is exactly word for word, but it's powerlessness over alcohol. So that's the first thing you have to accept, and therefore, once you accept that, you know, a lot of people don't believe other people are powerless over alcohol, but a lot of us are powerless over it. Like once we start drinking, the drinking takes over. The drink has another drink.
The drink has another drink.
You know what I mean? It's like you're not having another drink anymore. It's the drink that keeps having more and more drinks.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, mostly, when I say drink, I'm having champagne or whatever, or cava or Prosecco.
Cava?
Yeah.
There's a cava bar right up the street.
Yeah, I'm having like, you
Have
know,
you ever had
I'm having rosé. You know what I mean? So it's like.
But cava's not alcohol.
Well,
I could
creates
drink
the
cava.
thing. It creates the oomph in you, like a giggle.
It does create a giggle.
Yeah.
Do you want to have cava after the podcast? There's one right up the street.
Okay.
There's a lot of kava.
It's a half block away.
Yeah, I'm drinking like that. I'm drinking like it runs out. You know what I mean? So it's like before anybody has a problem, somebody walks in. You know, they're like, "Look at man." Yeah. I got this bottle. I got this, you know, $75 bottle of champagne.
What about psychedelics?
We're done.
What about psychedelics?
You know what I mean? That's the one we're having.
You take psychedelics?
No, I don't.
Never?
No. I don't even know like psychedelics. What are you at?
Like mushrooms, microdose, anything like that?
No. because
Nothing.
I ain't got no faith in it.
No.
I don't have the faith. I don't have the faith that somebody. I don't know what this is. Somebody hands you something. I don't know what this is.
Well, it's mushrooms.
Yeah, but well,
Dude, it's cocaine. What's the problem?
well. I guess what I'm saying is like most drugs, most things. I'd rather. I mean, I'd in a sense rather.
I sort of go with him.
I'd almost rather do some sort of pharmaceutical thing.
Right.
And I'm going, oh, okay, that was made.
Oh, you trust those guys?
That was in a lab at
Yeah.
least. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't trust that shit.
Like, that was a lab deal. And it's got a cool little logo and an Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
I'm looking at like, it's kind of good looking, this
Yeah.
little capsule or whatever. That's pretty.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I'm not in the hippie. I'm not going to pick who's doing those.
Come on. The
I'm not in that scene.
mushrooms aren't just for hippies anymore.
That's
Jeffrey.
true.
Do people call you Jeff or Jeffrey?
They don't call me by my name much at all.
What do they call you?
But Jeff is what I prefer.
I'll start calling you Jeff.
Yeah,
then.
Jeff.
Because Jeffrey, Jeffrey
I don't know,
Gaines.
yeah.
That's
a
the
lot.
that's the stage name.
That's a lot. I mean,
But I'm Joseph Arthur, and I like it when people call me Joe.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
People call you Arthur ever?
Sometimes, which I find a little weird, because
You find that weird?
Well, because it is my last name.
Right. It's your
you know,
last name, but it's
people sometimes use it like it's my
It's a
first
first name, right.
just because it happens to be a
It could
first
be
name.
yeah, right.
But it's like, to me, you got to understand, I hear it as if I was sitting here, what's up, Gaines?
And that's my
Like,
whole.
and
That's
isn't
that.
that-
I've been that a long time.
People call you Gaines?
Yeah, my dirt bike friends call
How
me
about
that.
them Gaines? Like, if
My-
you were a weightlifter, people would be like, what about them Gaines?
Yeah.
Gaines? Because people
Have
talk.
you ever listen to this, man? You ever like your record comes out or something, and some journalist guy writes his story, and like something about he puns off Gaines, like if
Oh,
blah, blah,
give me an
blah.
example.
I can't, but I'm like
Well, I just
so-and-so,
did.
everybody
I
Gaines.
just gave the ultimate
go-
fucking
Yeah, I'm not-
Gaines pun, because
Yeah, but
you know,
it's one of those.
like
Maybe-
now modern day weightlifters, they say, "How about them Gaines?" Like when you have big
Yes.
muscles, big muscles are
Yes.
like you could do a whole like album where it's like you and like muscles and like, how about them Gaines?
I
Jeffrey
probably
Gaines.
shouldn't.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't, but it would be hysterical if
Right.
you did.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, drugs don't occur. Drugs don't really show up that much in my life. A lot of the girls I know smoke a lot of pot and stuff.
You smoke the weed?
No, I don't smoke the weed. I don't like. I don't smoke the weed.
I don't
in
smoke
this-
much weed either anymore.
I don't smoke the weed in the same reason I didn't smoke the cigarettes. Is that my voice was my thing. Like I just want to sing. You know, I don't want to sing. I don't want to change the keys. I don't want to like, because everybody I know that smoked, you know, they were like, you know, they were lily, skinny little Brits who wanted to lower their voice, and they like, I'm gonna start smoking so I can sound like a black soul man. I'm like, fucking sound like that already. Like, I got that, so I don't need to. I don't need to get rasp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need to do those things. I'll just f it up. You know. So
I started smoking when I was a kid. I started young.
they were around. Your parents must have done or
Ohio.
something.
Yeah, like my mom smoked here and there, and,
Right.
you know, but like, yeah, I don't know, just neighborhood kids too. It was just around,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they were totally around. There was a thing to do, but
Yeah, what's Philly like?
Philly.
What's a day in the life like for you? What do? You get up? Like, how often do you gig?
I don't know, not that much. It's
Not that much lately?
It's not the 90s anymore, so I'm not like on
Permanent tours?
I'm not on permanent tour.
Yeah, me neither.
And so I play.
I want to get back on a permanent tour.
You know, the only way I can get back on a permanent tour is be an opener for somebody on a permanent tour. I mean, I personally probably couldn't do. The venues don't get small enough through the middle of the America to make it cost efficient.
Right.
But you know, if you could do 40 minutes in front of somebody already touring and just follow and just like they've already got everything booked, the whole year's booked, and you're like, oh cool, and I'll just do 40 in front of you. And then you cross the nation, and you can do your thing, and then you can be on tour. But you know, very rarely are people providing entire tours. You get a leg, you get a thing, you get a run, or whatever. You know, get six. You get 6 of them. When we're on the East Coast or whatever. You know, so you do them like that. But I mean, for me, all I need at this point is to play enough to keep the wheels rolling.
Do you ever get fear about that, or no fear?
I think I'll play. I don't get fear about that because I don't really. I'm not a guy thinking in terms of a lot of longevity.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking in terms of just month to month type of shit?
Oh yeah, I just don't think I'm gonna. I think I'll be able to. I guess what I'm saying is, it's not a morbid thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a casting a vibe on my. But I think I'll be able to play till I die. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'll live too. I don't think I'm gonna live that long. So I'm like, oh, it looks like I'm gonna make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it won't be.
Why
like,
don't you think you're gonna live long?
I think living long. I think answering it, then you're released. I think you answer it and you don't have to, it's like a
Answer what?
The or solving the Rubik's Cube of it.
Oh, so you feel like you've solved it?
No, I think I'm gonna run out of. I think I'll figure it and be like, oh, cool, and you can come up.
Oh, okay.
Or you can come wherever. Like you're done.
Oh.
Struggle at it. Sort of figure. Need it.
Yeah.
I think
most people get to where you are through psychedelics. It's ironic.
That's the end result.
I think that's right. You know what's cool? Yeah. So like, why do drugs? Why would I
You
spend?
don't fucking need them.
Why would I spend the money?
Why
would I spend the loot?
You don't need them. You don't need. You already are tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean that in a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah. So, but so it's like I play. JeffreyGaines.com. I go to see where I'm getting booked. Booking's done out of New York, management and stuff like that. So they're always putting gigs together, and I just need enough to, I just want to, keep the wheels rolling.
Yeah.
Economically, financially, or whatever. But I don't really go to the well too hard.
Yeah.
I don't, ask too much from it.
Right.
It provides me a living. It provides me, again, my primary joy, and. If I've done that the entire time from leaving my parents' house to now.
With music.
Yeah, with music and with the liberty to also, just walk around art museums and hang out with people, spend time in the windows where other people could not be available.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, like I said, a lot of people, you can call me at night where like you'd be like, all my friends are sleeping because of the career dictates they can't be up for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to be free enough to be available to adventures.
Yeah.
And that's really what those things are what it's about to me. So am I playing a lot? If I had some sort of campaign to become someone who plays a lot, what's driving that?
Right.
Like, there would be nothing driving that other than some Mount Olympus in my mind. Like, you remember when they asked when Donna was new and they're like, what do you want to do?
Right.
Like, it's never ever been in my nature to go, to look at it, I want to rule the world.
Not rule the
like
world,
she said
but
some shit
create,
like that.
but create a
Like,
life of,
that's odd.
of stress-free abundance.
Or stress-free underabundance.
Right.
Like, stress-free is the point.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So abundance is just like a
touche, my friend.
Abundance. like
you're not wrong.
who needs that? Like abundance. Or just like I'm good.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have more ambition when you were younger, or is that
No?
No, you just never have.
No, I'm not about ambition.
What's your birth sign?
August 25th, Virgo.
Oh, okay.
But I got no ambition in the ways of any of that. I ran track and stuff but I enjoyed the pace and the rhythm and the fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the crushing and the ambition wasn't there. I just was enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but I'm not going to define myself as this. I was kind of a outlier dude at school and on teams and things. That was the only thing I did a little bit, and but I didn't, I'm done with that now. You know what I mean? So, but
Right.
music is the only constant. And that was one of the things that made sense to pick. That your band was just different than the other bands. It wasn't like there was not like it's all subjective. I make a record, I have to like it.
Mm-hmm.
Other people liking it, totally not I don't know what they'll do.
Right.
I don't know, but I can't be concerned. I can't be concerning myself with that in here. I just got to be conceptualizing my own sort of thing, make the music and the sound and the record I want to make, and be like, that's great to me. And if you get somebody who can find a business angle for them and fund these projects of mine, then great. But I mean, even getting into music in my first record was like I played 7 songs at the bitter end, and I got signed by doing that, but playing solo acoustic.
Yeah.
And it's not ambition. It's just like, it's your slot.
Yeah.
You know, and you just stand there and I sang 7 songs, and like, that'll be the record. Like, that's great. Can you do that? I'm like, I can do that. And so it's like the first, my debut record is like, I'm looking down. It's not ambitious at all. It's super slow. Everything's slow. The first single's a waltz. It's 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Not gonna get on the radio. Like, nothing's gonna happen other than it's gonna be, you know, liked by some people who find this to be their thing. But it's not even positioned or put to go crush a chart or do any of that. It's like, and the label, and so far all the labels I've ever been on never needed me to do that. They're like, well, we're not spending that on you. Like, we're expecting that from this group because they're into us for, they bit off a big chunk of front money, or they're gonna get a tour bus. Like, they're gonna get like, you're good.
How many records have you made?
That's probably maybe 6. You know.
When's the last one?
2018.
Oh, so recent.
2018. Omnivore Recordings, an LA record. Beautiful. Chris Price
produced it.
Chris Price produced it. I used the Imposters.
Elvis Costello's band.
Yeah, Pete Thomas playing the drums.
Fucking amazing. All without ambition.
Davey Farragut on the bass. You know, J.J. Blair's studio in Hollywood Hills. You just go to a really nice home, and it's like, man, this guy lives in all the instruments are here already. They're his. Yeah. So you could fly your guitar, or you could just go, there's probably going to be a better one there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, so it's like, I didn't take any instruments. I didn't take nothing. I just like, I just, you know, wore this every day. I just need this. I just need me. So I went out there and.
How long did you record for?
I say we were there two weeks or something. It don't take long, because I mean the folk rock songs.
Well, you had all the songs written already?
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like with ambition, I'm not gonna really. I mean, maybe if I was a hit machine or something, then I'd scrutinize the songs. But I don't even do that. Like it's not the days where it's not like A&R wants to hear the songs. They're like at this level, we'd like to do a record with you, so we trust you. Yeah. We trust you. You have to ask. I mean, who's got the hardcore radio department anymore? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people don't. So they're like, we're not listening for that. We're not even going to go to radio. We're not going to hit anybody hard. If people like it, they can play it. Right. It's not stores anymore. So if people, it's just an opportunity for you to continue doing your thing. We dig your thing, and we're here to facilitate. It's not, we're not going to let you beat us up. And, you wouldn't anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like financially, it's like, well, here's what we got, and can you make it with that? I'm like, absolutely. You know what I mean? And so you feel good if you can so you go to LA, so everybody can live in the home and the life they're living. These guys got to, kiss their wife or walk the dog or just have their morning, be there by 12:30 or whatever in the afternoon, just drive over, park, come in, play to 5, play to 6,
Rap,
go home,
go for dinner.
Have their world. They could have their world. No, we would split. So it's like, it's the best part about it is everybody came ready to work. Yeah. And we do just they would work, and if you got hungry, the record wasn't buying us dinner. Nobody had a duck flown in from Newfoundland or something, or special water or request. They could do that in their own time because I'm cutting you loose at 5:30. You know what I mean? So you go home and do your thing. See you tomorrow at 12:30. So it was like so cool that way. It was like so it only cost my hotel room. You know what I mean? I mean, in that daily get together. It was like they already live where they're living, so they played for the joy, and they certainly got paid. But like, everybody knows how to just recalibrate for the project they're on. So, they go play with Stevie Wonder the next night. I'm sure they charge different. Right. But you know what I mean? So it's just like, It's super easy, very, very mellow. And that came out. And the artwork's a selfie.
Uh-huh.
You
Oh,
know?
really?
Yeah.
From the iPhone?
Yeah, boom. So I'm like, you could just make these things like that, and the fans that were, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
Why even have a cover?
I'm not saying it's substandard, or I mean, it's that's the one.
I like that. I like the vibe though.
Yeah, it's like
It's just because there's something about that vibe that's like, I don't know, when you go into a playful spirit of like, there's something very zen about everything you're talking about. Like, you know, almost like, I don't know, Buddhist or something, or like, you know, yeah, I know you're gonna resist me putting a label on it, probably even.
no,
But
cool.
you know, but yeah, there's something zen about it, or there's something, you know, like freeing or liberating even about just here's the album cover, it's a selfie and that type of shit. And
and it's just like
not worrying too much.
No.
Because worrying never does fucking anything.
Yeah, worrying again. I don't think worrying. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't
You're wasting your joy time in the worry.
Yeah.
About a thing that doesn't come to pass anyhow.
Right.
You know, those things don't happen.
Yeah.
You worry about them and they don't even show up.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, the reason for playing music is that it was a solace. It was a place to go to that provided a joy for me. I can't speak anything beyond that. You know, if you're playing guitar, you know, 13 or whatever, and then you never take it off around the house, you're just sitting there wherever you're at, blah, 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 like, you know, trying to figure it out. You take it with you as many places as you can and work it into your world.
Right.
And people go, oh my God, he's bringing the guitar. He's got the guitar. But you just I just want to learn. I'm trying to learn it. So why would I not be anywhere I could be with it? So if you're doing it for nothing, and then you end up getting an audience who wants you to do it, and they're getting joy out of a thing that primarily would already bring me joy, it's going to happen. We're going to do that as long as we can continue to assemble. I'll show up, and you'll show up, and we'll have a thing. You know, can't promise. You know, booking. You know, how many people can you guarantee us? I'm like, it's not. I can't. I'm not going to tell you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that immediately takes the joy out of it. I like, you know.
I just tell them, I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
So
I had one time a promoter, like, it was for a gig, and I got a text saying like, "Hey, post this on social media because you know my people are freaking out. You know that only so many people have like texted about the gig or whatever, this, that, the other." And I just wrote back saying like, okay, I will post, but please no more fear-based text like that. I just wrote exactly that. I said, please no.
Oh man.
I did, dude, because I was just like, please don't send any more fear-based things like that because that will rob the joy of it, and it will also create the thing we're being fear-based about.
Right.
You know, because it's like that kind of thing. Like immediately once people go into fear on something like that, it's like, dude, it's just instantly brutal all of a sudden. Then I just immediately start dreading the thing and getting worried about like, oh no, who's going to show up? You know, that type of shit. And it's like, it's not fun anymore.
No. You also, it's hard to explain to them that we didn't start our businesses with the same objective.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know what you're in it for.
Yeah.
I can't help you with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I know what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
And, there's enough people to get it on.
Yeah.
And we're, stay out of it. We're going to do our thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be as beautiful. I'm going to play the whole duration and the whole thing. Nothing's spoiled. Maybe you're not as happy. But, like, again, you got tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got tomorrow to have the jam band come in.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
The Grateful Dead jam band's going to pack it out. They're going to be around the building,
Yeah.
So just knock it out tomorrow.
Right.
This is a smaller music.
Yeah.
It's a smaller thing in the first place. I mean, I'm writing these songs. You write these songs for like, I'm thinking about it, as big as Born to Run is.
Uh-huh.
At the point in the song when he goes, "Come on, Wendy." He's talking to one person.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care if it became if it became all of your song.
Yeah. Well, he was specifically going for that though. Like I've read in interviews where he's like, I was specifically trying to make like the greatest rock and roll record of all time.
He did.
He was going for that.
He did great things.
But Yeah, but like, you know, Bruce is a good example. So he had a lot of ambition. And I personally, I also have a lot of ambition. I don't necessarily think ambition is a bad thing, but I do think it's great if you can transcend ambition, because it makes them for a more fearless space, and like what you said, stress-free. You know, the point isn't the abundance, the point is the stress-free. So I think ambition,
it's in the phrasing that's
yeah,
first.
Yeah. Right.
But Bruce, forget about it. I think all these things also do come back to your all these things that you'll end up having in your personality come back to your predicament, your physical experience, the world, the way you ripple the world in your adolescence. I think a guy might have, say, more to prove when they're doubted more. More ambition might come from Steve Marriott, like a bigger voice comes out of a little guy's I'm gonna stand tall. You know
so were you not doubted?
No, I feel bad. I feel like I feel very, in a sense. I think a lot of people
you weren't doubted.
I think a lot of music people are driven by Paul. We
had a podcast about it today, actually, about just that. Yeah, that this stuff comes from. You know, a lot of sometimes childhood trauma and needing love that you don't quite get, that type of shit. Yeah. So I think you're right.
Or even the doubted,
well, the doubted is true too, but that's
a lot of power.
That's part and parcel of that.
So much power in like somebody saying, I want like somebody picking up a
prove
guitar,
something,
and I want to get a band, and everyone, you can't do that. You'll never do that. You know what I mean? Those people are going to be. They're not quitting.
Yeah,
they're not quitting until they show you.
Right.
You know, but if you, again, a guy
like
me singing all the time, everybody expects it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, hey, I'm going to go be a singer. Absolutely you are.
Right.
I'm sure you will be.
Right.
I'm sick of you singing. You sing everything and everywhere.
Right. Oh, so you were singing from when you were a kid all the time.
Yeah, so I'm like, they're like, that's the only thing.
And your family supported your desire?
Again, my family was not really one of those, like, did they support it? We didn't have a discussion.
No?
No. We didn't have to have that discussion.
What did your parents do?
My dad laid carpet. He's a carpet layer. He did his own small business, raised the family, married my mom. She didn't work. She was a housewife, raised the kids, He brings home the money. They work it out. They pay the bills. They raise us. I thought, in a sense, sort of raised ourselves. You know what I mean? They're super cool. My parents were very cool people, to the point of like, my mom's like, don't call me mom. I learned very quick, like she didn't want to be called mom. Like, so my relationship with her is like,
that's funny.
She's Jane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's a real cool lady named Jane.
That's cool.
So she's like,
isn't that cool or no?
I thought super cool.
Yeah.
Because she's like,
it supports your individuation.
Yeah. She's like, if you call me mom, that's a job title, and then I can be right or wrong at that. Like I'm, don't have those. Don't put mom on me.
Well, I see where you get your philosophical spark now. When you tell me that story, I'm like, okay, so that makes sense.
So
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's not a typical mom thing to say. Most parents lean into that power structure.
Oh, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't have that at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that at all. So when I'm making music, it's like I think the rules, maybe if there were any rules, don't call me from jail. It's my parental rules. Like if you do some stuff in the street with your little bike gang to get in jail, don't call here. You know what I mean? So you just learn to watch your ass and just you govern and run and manage your affairs.
Was your dad equally liberal with the whole like don't call me dad? Did he have that similar vibe?
Yeah, he's just like I mean he's also I think all the men in my experience, my grandfather that I had access to. I think the other, on the other side was, passed away, but I still only met my mother's father and mother, and the interaction with them is, my grandfather, was into show jumping and equestrian horses, and he's doing that.
He rode horses and jumped them in shows?
Yeah, but like mostly like, so he's living at
That's amazing. Where?
In the Virginias, like different places throughout my life in the Virginias, but so he'd be living on a huge, he had a bigger house than us, bigger world than us. You go there, gravel road, pastures, horses. So his house was the only one I saw, but like clearly there was a bigger house somewhere else. And he's like, there's the caretaker for the estate and taking care of these rich people's houses and or horses. So but you know how like somebody's gonna be like, I got all this money, I want to get into some culture, I want to learn I want to buy horses,
right?
But I need somebody who knows what I'm looking for, what to get. And so Melvin, my grandfather was that guy.
I see.
So what it is like what I understand from men were they were in their primary interest. So when I'd go as a little kid to see my grandfather, he's at the horse world. He's
in
at
his primary interest.
He's in doing that, and he's just giving instructions on how not to get kicked and get out of So kids are like nuisance. Kids are like, you don't get it yet, stay away. Everything's very expensive, don't touch it.
Right.
So you just go, wow, he's busy. So my dad, in a sense, like, he's busy. You know what I mean? He's working. He's into his thing. He's into his world. And when he comes home, he's got his cadence and his thing, and we just live here. It's it's like, so now I see parenting. I see people now, and they're like about their time with their kids, and they're about these things, and the focus of like the dad nurturing. My dad's just being a man. He's doing his man 70s stuff, which was his 50s stuff, which was his 60s stuff, which was, you know what I mean? It's like, kids come of the passion, kids come of the scenery, but he's like, I don't know that he read that book on like, how do I, So, again, my brother, 8 years older than me, my dad learned that lesson. He's like, all my macho shit's not going to play. I got a gay son. Done. By the time I come around 8 years later, he's like, you're cool. What do you need?
Yeah.
Need some money?
Right.
Need a car?
Right on.
Need a guitar?
Yeah.
Need a dirt bike? I just hit him up. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
hey man, I need a motocross bike. It costs this. He's like, well, go do wheelies.
Wow.
And then like wheelies turned to like, I need a guitar. And my sister played the bass. She had a great baby blue Fender P bass, but she like was like trendy, so she like wanted to have a bass for a weekend.
Yeah.
And stuff is just sitting around the house, you know what I mean? So I got like,
a bass
little
and a guitar.
Princeton amp and a bass. I'm like playing that first,
Yeah.
And then I'm going.
I started on bass too.
I heard about this. I bet you like really knew.
Yeah,
to play.
I played the hell out of it with all that ambition and needing to prove shit, dude.
Yeah.
I learned how to slap and pop my way into proving shit. Yeah.
I just played mine until I traded in for a guitar. You know what I mean? Because it was like I want to be, it's like the new wave era. I got to start singing. I got to be up front.
When did you write your first song?
It's probably maybe 82, 83.
Huh. How old were you?
I can't put it together. I don't know. Teens? Yeah.
Mid-teen type of shit, 15 kind of thing?
Yeah.
And
born in 65, so anybody who could do the math put that together when I was what I was in 81. But I don't recall. But I wrote songs, and I think the point for me was in writing songs. They were so many I wrote so many these run-on sentencey feel things. You're just going with your feel, and say if somebody was writing, I heard this McCartney. Everything starts out a melody and a shape of a word.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be this word. You get the vowel, you pick your vowel, you make your mouth and go. It probably sings better with a O than a ah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you start doing that, and you're like, and I would write them kind of just imaginary, just run on sentencey. Didn't have to make any sense.
Yeah.
Because I think the point at that point wasn't to be any kind of communicator or listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like, the band. We need some songs, and people are just pogoing around to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're looking to us to answer questions or solve anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a song that I would write would just be that's a song, and I'll remember that.
Yeah.
But if you look at it on paper, you're like, this is what?
Yeah.
What? What are you saying? I'm like, probably nothing.
Yeah. How old were you when you played that gig at the bitter end that got your first deal?
So all that stuff was 25. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was late for for what the industry thought.
That's when I got signed.
Yeah.
I was 25.
Yeah. So that all stuff happened kind of in a well seasoned You know what I mean? There'd already been pretty other previous projects that would have also been pretty cool. You know what I mean? But when I moved to Philly, 89 or whatever, moved to Philly from Harrisburg, I went there by myself and didn't put a band together. So that started the whole solo gigs until I found a band. I never found a band, got signed solo before I got one. You know what I mean? So it's like, probably would have started another group and never would have been a singer-songwriter, troubadour type guy. As I was into Echo and the Bunnymen, I would have been abstract and
rock and roll
and cool.
Yeah,
like probably, you know.
Yeah,
that would have been my interest. To play shows with smoke and dark and silhouette and you know, and not talk to the audience, not have a conversation, but be more enigmatic and just like who are they?
Right.
I'd have been safer there.
Yeah.
I always feel I've been more suited and safer there because I think I spent all my that preparation time in those attributes, those kind of qualities. So sometimes when I end up in a real folk scenario, they're wanting more feel, more like, more stuff like, it was a real catharsis for you. And I'm like, no, man, I just wrote it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't so gentle as you guys might want it, you know? It's not coming from if it heals you, cool, but I'm not holding them like this.
You're not like a shaman playing music.
Yeah, or even like even the process, or even the things I might go through. Like, you know, write some song about, you know, the significant songs about death in your family or whatever, and you write them as like just, you know, maps to healing, not maps to wallow. You know what I mean? And then people in that situation are like, well, that's just very abrupt, and get on with it. And I'm like, well, everybody's experience is different. Everybody's parents has taught you different lessons. So, I mean, I can only speak for mine. You ever get reviewed by somebody who's wanting your record to be something they're looking for?
I think so.
And they're like, it didn't meet their needs?
Yeah,
and you're like,
course.
well, that doesn't mean it's... That's funny, because that guy's out there for you.
Yeah.
But you're reviewing my record holding mine to your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty certain it didn't meet yours.
Right.
But like, you got the pen, you're gonna write that whole thing, and I'm like, it wasn't to please you. You know what I mean? So it's like they kind of lose touch of that when they're like, oh well, and then the second half of the record sort of falls off in my expectation that it didn't do what? I mean, no, it did the stuff. It did all the stuff. It's just like, we're coming from, you got a different bag.
Didn't do your stuff.
Yeah, you got a different bag. You know what I mean?
Well, a review is not tailored to that person writing it.
Well, that's the thing that I want to. Maybe we should consider who's, you know, that whole thing, because like.
Yeah, he's got a good point.
You should have the artist write the review of their own album.
Or what you should say is what you should be able to.
That's a good point. He does make a good point.
What you should be able to.
It is the reviewer's perspective.
Yeah, but I feel none of all the reviews are tailored to the magazine they're posted in, to that kind of audience, and it's all like it's just like.
I know, but what I'm saying is
the game is sold already before, like, you know, you even put your album out.
What they should do maybe is they should maybe leave themselves out of it a little more, right?
Yeah.
And
but the best music critics are playing to an audience, like you know, Lester Bangs, he was writing to celebrate himself,
right?
While using the vehicle of other people's music, and it was fantastic, though. I mean, it is great writing, you know. So, I mean, I think the best music reviews are kind of entertaining like that, but maybe.
How's this been? I don't know. I don't do this.
This podcast?
Yeah. Speaking of,
fucking rad.
It's been entertaining or whatever.
Yeah,
because I think to myself, like,
how do you think it's been?
It's been great.
Are we all right?
I don't think we're done yet.
I don't know. I don't really know, because
no,
the podcast thing is completely new to me.
Okay, well, you're very interesting.
Yes.
You're like, and you're saying things that are surprising and fun, and also enlightening. Like, you know, I don't necessarily agree with everything you're saying, but I love it. I love your perspective, and it's refreshing. So that's my
cool.
That's my review of
mid show review.
That's my mid show. I mean, we might be a little more than midway, but yeah, that's my podcast review for this podcast.
Excellent, good. thanks for having me, everybody. You guys, this is cool.
Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah,
it's
this
cool.
Is like
it's a cool thing for like in a sense that you kind of maybe get to. I mean, you get to spend more time, get to meet people, bring them into your,
It's enlightening for me because also it's therapeutic in a level. Also, it kind of gets me out of my own head, and it also gives me other perspectives and ways of seeing the world. And then I can go and check my own perspective on how I'm viewing my own situation, and it relates to yours because we're both songwriters who have been doing this a while. We both deal with we're neither one of us is like blown up huge, but we've both been career musicians, and it's like, and we've had some success and some like leaner times and dealt with all the trials and tribulations of that. So like just hearing your perspective on how you dealt with that and how you continue to deal with it and how you keep your sanity amongst that and the way your perspective, I can see how your perspective is enabling you to carry on. And that's really the most important thing, is to keep on keeping on.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like in that way, this podcast is really is wonderful because it enables me to receive this, and then it enables other people to receive it too.
Yeah. This is how you do it, y'all.
Yeah, this is how you do it. Jeff's wrapping this up. You wrapping it up?
Well, I don't know.
We don't have to wrap it up.
Any topics? Any any internet
what
questions?
What time is it? 10?
I was curious.
Any fan
We've
questions?
been going for an hour and 15.
Mm-hmm.
You did gain some success.
There it is.
Quote unquote, because if your bio is correct from whenever it was written, you did get to open for Tom Petty. You had so even at that point, like that never fazed you, or you were just like whatever and just do your thing.
That's a good question.
When you say phase, how you mean?
Well, because you're like so close to like a massive like singer-songwriter like Tom Petty, who's like just like a great example of a really great artist who just following his own muse. He writes simple, amazing, but simple songs. And if I was in that situation, I might get the idea that, hey, maybe I could do this too. That might kick in some ambition. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, just like how.
Got you.
Yeah.
Because then there were other big names on that list.
A lot. And you've been awarded and stuff and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
those are great shows.
I
mean, like, it's with Monterey Peninsula, so I mean, they probably threw that together for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like had great booking agencies, and Rod McSween over in England took care of that, and just said, boom, you're going from your bedroom to 10,000 people a night on the Into the Great Wide Open tour.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that holds you together is still just my context never changes. Like I walk out with a solo, I got a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this really thin body little black Guild Prestige, sandpapered the top finish off so it was kind of matte.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't like reflect. It was beautiful. It's like my little unit. I mean, it was so close to my body, and it is only this thick, but acoustic guitar.
Yeah, you loved it.
Amazing projection. So it was like super loud. Everybody's like, how, Mike Campbell's like want to play my guitar all the time and just be like, how's that so loud? I'm like, I don't know, bro. It was $700. It's really cheap. It's great. But but the job is still the same. It's like, those guys were like, they tell me a different time every night. You get one little truck stop clocks on your tuner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be like 28 minutes, 33 minutes. I'm like, I don't know how many songs that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you just keep an eye on yourself, manage your time, manage your commitment to the stage manager, road manager, do your slot. And, it was super great. I just figured it's been offered, and it's in the people's hands, in the public's hands. And that was a European tour, and I came back to the States. Melissa Etheridge was kind enough to extend me multiple legs of her summer tour, 92. Crossed the nation, saw a lot of great venues in Canada and stuff with her, opened up for her, so met a lot of... I still, to this day, play to those shows. The audiences that were, man, in those 30 minutes, you made a lifelong fan. I'll still be playing to people from the Melissa Etheridge tour, 92. I played with, Tracy Chapman was a great tour for me. Played some, opened a bunch of shows for Sting. And, Richard Thompson's great. Really great people.
He's name dropping like amazing artists.
Yeah, they really are. Stevie Nicks took me out. Stevie Nicks, we were in 2001. And, there's so many more because I think I get those gigs because I don't request a lot. I think I play with the major people because like they have a stage set, and they're like, I don't need to. Once we set up our stage, we're not we don't want to.
Yeah.
We don't need
so
your
solo guys.
Oh, you got a bass player with a SVT cat. You got too many stipulations.
Yeah.
we want the audience entertained, but once we set our stage, we want to go to dinner.
Yeah.
And not have somebody need to move stuff.
Yeah.
So they
Right.
can play. Or need somebody who doesn't demand a light shift, or this guy can get on, amuse these people 30, 40 minutes, and get the hell out of our lives.
Right.
I think in a way, like I got those gigs because of that. And then later,
and because you're good.
Yeah.
later on, but like I mean,
Well,
those
People
things
would kill to have those.
they're
opening
sustained.
gigs.
They're sustained once, but I think initially you might be Tom Petty and
Yeah,
just
they're
go,
sustained.
I got
No,
so much
you're
stuff
right.
to
You're right.
think
There's a
about.
point
Pick
to
somebody.
That. No, there's a point
You know?
to it.
And then,
but
like,
they gotta be. But
the
they
guy's
gotta
good.
be good
like,
too.
He can
Yeah.
stay. Yeah. Oh, cool. I played in Birmingham with Tom Petty, and Robert Plant was watching me work it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you just
Yeah.
go, so how's he? A lot of people would be like, how's he not tripping playing to 10,000 people just solo, and kind of conducting it?
Right.
And I'm like, because even no matter what language barrier, no matter like France or Germany or whatever, or you don't have my record yet, I think musicality is going to speak something.
Yeah, I did an arena tour opening up for REM in Europe,
That's
solo
great.
by
That's
myself, and it worked.
It works.
Yeah, it worked. Because also, like when you approach an audience that big, that vulnerably, they kind of respond to it. They kind of like they also understand that it takes some cojones to do that.
Yeah, that's
So it's like-
absolutely true.
Yeah.
And you also probably attest to everything sounds better. Your shit sounds better,
Yeah.
right? You plug it into their PA,
Yeah. It
like the
sounds
mics.
great.
Like I'm like, it gets better as you get up the line.
Right.
So it's like you find yourself singing on. Stevie Nicks had these mics, the vocal mic, and I'm like, I can't find this in the store. You can go to Guitar Center. I'm like, this is not the ones that you know what I mean. It's like next level stuff.
It's next
It's
level.
like just next level stuff, and I'm like, everything sounds better. These monitors, we're not having like a thing. I plug in. I'm like, you all good? I'm like, absolutely. More like, whoa, listen to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
yeah.
well, I can do work with this, and you
Yeah.
start to also go, I can just do work because my God, your whatever little kernel of, I think I'm bad enough in the first place to get up there and do it is just kadoosh. I mean, they really bring it to you.
Yeah.
The PAs are so much better, and so it's like, there's that. But I mean, to create, to in a sense have that create ambition. Just the ambition is the same one, to just be as good as you possibly can each opportunity you get to do it. And I think then sales and things like that have to be in the hands of other people. I mean, I wish I could drive everybody to the store. You know what I mean? I wish I could say, yo, don't get this, get that. You know what I mean? They're going to make the decision. And I think the outcome of your success will be in the hands of the public. So, I mean, you just try to say, and I'll be quite prepared for that eventuality. If that were to be brought to my existence, I'm ready to do that on a whatever scale you'd have offered me.
Right.
Or if you're optimistically looking at it, that may come.
Right.
But like, so I'm not opposed to playing big shows. I'm not opposed to big sales. I'm not opposed, to big radio. But I mean, I've just never been in a position to control that outcome.
Yeah.
You go to radio stations and like, I mean, I think for me the only thing that really got commercial top 40 spins was a cover of Peter Gabriel.
Right.
So I mean,
Which
I
is
didn't
full circle.
I didn't
with Joe.
pick that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I didn't say, I didn't make you don't make the 6 records for you to go. The only one you're finding that you can put on the air. I think they're all pretty suitable for the air.
Yeah.
And knock yourself out. Pick anyone you want.
Right.
But they're like, oh well, this one really gets the phones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you're just you're gonna just do what you're being told.
Yeah.
So it ain't really that old DJ who just goes, man, I'm into this record. I'm just gonna put this on.
Right.
They're still kind of answering to their commercial constraints. They gotta. So they're gonna go with a more obvious thing to get, the bells and the. So maybe it's like maybe the kind of offering that I make, being influenced by the 60s, probably also would have sold more and meant more in that time where people were absorbing records like that.
In that way.
By the time you put the thing out, You know what I mean? So it's like, well, people just aren't listening in that way. But boy, you remind me of Richie Havens.
Right.
You're like,
how often have you gotten that?
Where Richie at? You know what I mean? You just go like, yeah. And those things are everything that you may be reminiscent of is a thing that is no more really.
Yeah.
So you just, when somebody's Beatlesque, it's like that's cool if that comes back.
Yeah.
And if it's not just some ironic-y sort of jokey Beatlesque,
Right.
It's like if you like sincerely mean songs are structured in this way
Yeah.
and don't have any rap breakdown in them, what I mean? There's nobody gonna come in and break it down. There's nobody gonna do a thing like no.
Right.
It's like you have to kind of still find those people who are into that. So as those numbers dwindle, then that's fine because ambition would mean I would expand the repertoire into what's happening now. Like I'm not that hungry to just be in the now. I'd have to like it. So
Yeah.
For your last album that came out last year, you took a long break between albums, right?
Yeah, I take breaks. The breaks are really a matter of I wouldn't be this probably speaks to ambition or lack of it. I won't make a record myself. I won't do a DIY. I made it.
Right. So you waited for an offer to come to make that album?
Yeah, because I still got and play shows. My world of playing live stays the same. So I'm just gonna play my shows, and I'm gonna sing the songs that are written. There's so many songs, so many albums. There's so many things that like I'll do some stuff and hey man, is that on an album? And I'm like, yeah. So it was like even when you're playing old songs, doesn't mean everybody in that room is even heard. They're not worn out to them.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They haven't even played.
And you reinvent them live anyway.
Always reinvent them. And but I mean, all my records have been on a label. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's just like so the commercial thing really has to come from a commercial partner, somebody who's in that business of manufacturing, because those costs would be then those costs would fall on me to pay for a studio for the time or to pay for the
manufacturing,
turning it into a thing in your hand, and I'm like, well, I don't think I would need to force myself. I don't need to be like I'm so only defined by the commercial aspect of myself that I need to be there in the commercial marketplace. The essays line scattered on the floor fulfill their need just by being there.
Right. What is it?
Taking it to market is you paint.
Yeah.
And so the satisfaction from the mind to the material, like I saw it, I see it, I'm gonna do it. Boom. Once you're done, your internal I needed to create that is finished.
Right.
Now your decision to then take it to market is some other shit.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm still writing songs during that period. And then I still hear them materialize. I go, my God, yeah, that's the song, and there it is, and it's written. Now the need to have it for sale.
Do you have home recording?
I don't need to have it for sale.
Do you home record?
Know what I mean? Yeah, but home record when you're a two-piece, when your vocal and guitar could be your phone.
Yeah.
And then you write that down from the thing, and then I may not. Just as long as when I hear me singing it. And I've written the words and I can sing it into the tape player. That's just boom, record. You're getting us both at the same time. That's the recording. And then sometimes the record will be that in a better studio on better mics.
Do you have like a laptop with Pro Tools or anything like that? No, nothing like that.
You have to read
GarageBand. No.
Reading the manual.
Yeah.
I have to read.
You need ambition for that.
At home.
I'd have to read that.
That's easy though, dude.
How you work that?
That's so easy. You could learn that in an afternoon. You could. I'm not saying you should, because you got your ways. And your ways are cool.
There was a studio came to Harrisburg, and there was a guy from Texas that had a great studio, and he just was a new resident.
Yeah.
And he got carpet. My father did the carpet in his place, and he's like, my brother was there, and he had all this Texas equipment. He had this old API board and all this great studio stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe you guys could lift it in there, and like, this makes music. My brother got me playing by saying, my brother sings.
Right.
That was it. You know what I mean? It's because this guy's like, I got all this studio equipment, and I'd like to see if it works tonight. I went home, got my drums, my junk, my little instruments, and set up in the corner. And he got to record me.
Yeah.
And he got to use my recordings of my little songs to then show up in a town and distribute those to the radio, like saying, there's a new studio in town, and listen how your commercial spots can sound.
Right.
And the commercial spots are like, well, that's good and everything, but who's singing?
Right.
Who's that?
That was your first recording?
Yeah, those are my first sort of getting into it. It's
That's
like
amazing.
A guinea pig for a guy trying to show what a studio sounds like.
Yeah.
Taking it to the radio stations to get spots and commercials. The radio station, can we play this?
That's amazing.
Because your dad did the carpet.
Yeah, so not of my own drive, but like my brother suggested that he plays music all the time. And so then the radio starts playing the thing, and then, who's that? And blah, 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 and you start recording more at this place. But that was always that's a free deal.
Yeah.
That was like a free deal created based on
opportunity.
Yeah, it just showed up then. So then I'm recording stuff, and then those recordings get heard by somebody wanted me to sing in a New York group. Josh Deutsch wanted me to sing in a band in New York. So that got the songs into Capitol Records. And there's like, well, he didn't join that group, but the songs are now that the execs are hearing the tape going around. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all very accidental and awesome. But it's like, you're hoping that happens. Because
it's like
again,
a God thing. Do you believe in God?
I wanted to meet Kate Moss, man. So I'm like, yeah, I want to be on MTV.
Kate Moss.
I want to be on TV.
Never called back.
I want to be on MTV. We're going to do some music stuff. I'm all for that. You know what I mean?
I did meet Kate Moss at Peter Gabriel's studio. I did. And I met her in Paris.
She showed up with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, she showed up with Johnny Depp.
That's good.
Yeah.
But they're both.
That was my first
But they're
entree
both
into
so
them.
good.
Yeah.
They're both great.
Yeah.
That's full circle, dude.
That's full circle, yeah.
She
I would've hung
showed
out.
up with Johnny Depp.
I would hang out with the both of them. I don't care which one.
Well, they only exist as an idea now because they long since parted ways.
It's a good idea, man. That was a good idea.
That was a good idea.
That was a great idea.
Probably fun to be either one of them.
Great
back
idea.
then. But
how's Peter?
He's cool. He's cool.
Hang.
Yeah, he just put out a new collection of like all his like outtakes and older things in the archive. He put his cover of one of my songs on there too.
Tight.
In the Sun.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you're teaching me gratitude.
That's a beautiful thing, man. He came to one of my. He wanted to hear the song. He wanted to hear
In
the
Your
cover.
Eyes. Yeah.
He was with a Kate Moss of his own, man.
Yeah.
And he was backstage at a Sticky Floor rock club in Seattle, when I got there, and he's like, "Check it, could you do that right up top?"
Because he had to leave.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna make the whole show, but
can you do that right up top?
Yeah, it was really sweet.
That's a cheeky ask.
He's like,
yo,
he's like,
encore
he looked at
first?
me like, she getting antsy, bro.
Yeah.
So and I was like,
and did you do it?
Yeah.
First,
bam,
out
right
the gate.
Yeah. And he's just like had the front table, and it's just like just straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up, and he's like, yeah, man, it was a cool compliment. He's like, but this is stuff you throw on somebody. This is a compliment you hand somebody like me in the position he's in. He's like, wish I had sung it with so much soul.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You just go, well, yeah, but the way trust me, bro, the way you did it, however. That worked. That worked too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't wish nothing. You know what I mean? Like, don't wish you had nothing. You're doing great.
Yeah.
See you.
But
I bet,
man. But I bet that was genuine.
It's beautiful.
That sounds like him. I remember the first time he played me his cover of In the Sun. It was like the first time I heard one of my own songs because because before that I had just heard my voice, and my voice always kind of drove me crazy. Yeah. And so, like, I could never hear the song through just me beating myself up over my voice.
Right.
So, but then when it was coming from his voice, I actually heard the words, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It was a real moment of like, "Wow, that's insane." Like, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
It was a trippy moment. Yeah. But so what else? What's next, man?
What's next?
For Jeffrey Gaines?
Next,
are you on Instagram and all that, or you don't even?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm on that, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow you on that. I probably already do. I think I already do follow you.
I think you do. I think we do.
Yeah, we do follow each other. Yeah.
But I'm all about it because I'm into magazines. So that's just leafing through a magazine.
Yeah.
Just in an airport, you're just fucking moving through a magazine. Picture. Speaking of Instagram, though, again, when you follow them, you guys may not. Everybody, you can pick to follow what you want, what your interest is.
You're gonna bring up models?
I follow, and I'm like, we just talk about. You say so. What's up with people in the? This might not be for this.
Yeah,
it's probably fine for this.
But
I had to unfollow
the
a lot.
booty is
I had to unfollow all the booty stuff.
The booty seems to be like,
dude.
But why is that? Everyone's like kind of like flat out leading with the booty, like
because
I'm like that's interesting.
It's
because
powerful. The booty's powerful.
I'm blown away with. I kind of marvel at like the fact that like just for no reason someone will just turn it round to the camera.
But there's not no reason on that. There's a reason.
You're like, yeah, well, check this out. I mean, I get
and
it.
It's
but
usually
like,
a pretty good
what's
reason.
What's that first?
I had to unfollow the booty because
it so?
I needed it to get my brain back, dude. Like, and I needed my brain back, bro.
Goals in life.
I have goals. Once I don't have ambition, I'm gonna follow all the booty once again. I'm gonna refollow. I'll go back.
No, it's just real like, okay, neat. Like, okay, neat. Like, I just think to myself, like, that's always been spotted throughout time. But it's, but as far as I can recall historically, it was sort of something that was there, but not really sort of, I'm going to go there.
Well, I think,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, neat.
In this day and age, the booty's become I was going to say king, but that doesn't really make sense. But like the booty's become the most important thing. Like it didn't used to be. Like it didn't. Remember back in just even the 80s, it was more. It was more like
Samantha Fox.
It was more like the boobs.
I don't even know.
Like,
yeah, well,
you know what I mean? It was, but like that.
No. Okay, that's funny that you bring that up. Like you guys went to another extreme.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
that other extreme, but
when
existed in the 80s.
You said Samantha
more.
Fox. That's a person with another goal.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not. I don't mean that. I mean like society. People who are not trying to be they're not trying to be a pinup.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
You're not talking about Instagram.
Well, I'm not talking
models.
about.
They're just following the trends.
I'm talking about models who are using like fashion models.
Right.
Not like, not like.
Or just people in real life.
Yeah, like I mean like more society type fashion models who are not trying to be, in a sense, a thing that in the past maybe that would be a road to something that would demean you or lessen your brand.
Lessen you, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, well, that's true, but we're not going to lead with that because that lessens our brand.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's reversed that and that's absolutely essential to your brand.
What, a booty?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's an odd thing because she's not like that person's not trying to be seen as
a booty.
Like you brought up, they're not trying to be centerfold. It's not that. I mean,
I guess
trying
if
to be,
you got it, flaunt it.
They're in Town and Country magazine or something. They're like trying to sell another high fashion brand.
I see.
But like now booty's up in a high fashion.
Just
brand.
up in the mix.
Yeah, and I was like, that's interesting.
Blame the Kardashians for that.
Possibly.
There has been a shift.
There's been a shift.
There's been an undeniable shift towards the booty, man.
Yeah, so Instagram's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. A lot of visual, lots of beautiful things. I follow a lot of. I try to get. I'm kind of into art.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of into like classic portraiture, boring art though.
Yeah.
I like the abstract, but sometimes I'll just get off on somebody who can paint glass that looks like it's a goblet and like it's coming, it's doing the curve and the arc and the light and shadow. It's all happening. You
ever look at Chuck Close's work? Do you know who he is?
No.
Oh, he's interesting.
Check him out.
Yeah, check him out. He can paint people's faces and it looks just like
it's crazy. It's a cool thing. Portraiture's all right.
So what's are we rapping?
We're rapping, but just the people listening, the noises were underneath the club, dance
the
club, and the party started.
That's been the people walking back and forth.
Yeah, the party started.
Yeah.
I was just curious because I'm staring at your dog tags the whole time. What are those about?
One's a Punisher key.
Yeah, one's there's a Harley key, man. It's a motorcycle. They're not significant. Yeah, they just say Jeff Gaines stuff.
Okay.
They're like, you find
so you weren't in the army or anything
no,
like that?
No. You find my torso, here's who to call.
All right, Jeffrey Gaines.
Jeffrey Gaines.
Joseph Arthur, thank you, man.
You're awesome, dude.
Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and tell people at Jeffrey Gaines is Instagram, right?
Oh, it's at Jeffrey G Music.
Okay, at Jeffrey G Music. Go check this man out live.
JeffreyGaines.com.
The bomb.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jeff.
Thanks, Ehud. And that's a wrap. Hi, this is Joseph Arthur. Thanks for checking out Come to Where I'm From. Please support us on Patreon, patreon.com/come to where I'm from. We are an independent podcast, and any contributions you can make are greatly appreciated.